Welcome to the Temple of the Goddess. My name is Phoebe Hawk, and I am the founder and chief visionary, wisdom keeper, all of those things. So I wanted to welcome you into our portal, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction as to what it is that we do in the Temple of the Goddess. The work that I do in the world is very spirit guided, meaning that I am very much of a vessel and a portal for grounding the messages and the presence of spiritual ancestral forces. And so a big part of the work that I do is based on my own personal journey. And my own personal journey is very much informed by the fact that I had a spiritual awakening at the age of 22 based on some very dramatic things that happened in my life in order for spirit to really get my attention. And so since that time, and particularly in the last, I would say 14 years since my children were born, my children coming out of very powerful lineages, both spiritually and in their bloodlines, that has really accelerated my awakening process over this last 14 years, and I'm now 44 years old. So this is a very powerful year for me. 44 is the frequency of Archangel Michael, and very, very much of an energy of alignment with our purpose. And so a lot of the work that I do in the Temple of the Goddess is informed by my own journey of learning to discern the messages of spirit and the information given to me by my own soul, my own inner voice. And so as a result, a big part of the role that I play for you is to help you discern and translate the spiritual messages that are coming in for you, particularly around your purpose, your spiritual gifts, how to move past the blocks that you may have developed over many lifetimes, actually, around being able to stand in your gifts, to be seen, to work with your gifts. There's oftentimes, for people in our tribe, a significant amount of resistance that we have to lovingly overcome. And so that is the work that I do as a spiritual midwife, as an intuitive astrologist, soul purpose astrologist, as a shaman, as an integration guide, as a sacred guide. It's all part of what I've been called to do, and I'm very familiar with the process of feeling like you have a calling, feeling like there's some type of spiritual work that you're meant to do in the world and not being sure what it is, and encountering a lot of resistance and stepping into that. So I come to this work from a place of a lot of humility. My awakening journey hasn't necessarily been an easy one. I came into this world with some very intense past life karma to heal, and some past life wounds that I chose to bring to the surface in this lifetime through some very painful experiences. So I have a lot of compassion for this journey, and I have a lot of honor for those of you who choose to step in to do your work, and to honor that inner voice, to honor that calling, to honor the knowing that you came to break generational ancestral trauma patterns, ancestral chains, and to leave the legacy of suffering behind, right? To allow the generations that come forward, that come after us, to have a new experience. And so there's a few things that I will mention to you that are resources, and it should be hopefully clearly laid out on the website, but just to provide you with a little bit of a framework for people that are just getting started in their work with me. And that doesn't mean that you're just getting started on your spiritual journey. It could be that you've done a lot of work. You're just kind of ready for the next level of illumination around what's coming next or what you want to work on next. But I do recommend people begin with an astrology reading, only because it provides an incredible framework for the work that you're being called to do, and that I may be called to do to support you. And so there's two different types of astrology readings you can get. One is the 1 hour reading, and the other is the 3 hour reading. If you can, I always recommend just doing the 3 hour reading, because it's the deep dive where we go really into the soul, the full map of the soul, and illuminate, all the things that we need to get clear about. And then The other thing is that I do offer individual healing sessions. I do find that individual healing sessions are more effective in the context of us working together long term, and I'll get to that in a moment. But some examples of the type of healing sessions that I provide are, number one, shamanic healing sessions. And oftentimes we use a framework of shamanism to go back and do reprogramming around inner child experiences, around incidences of trauma. And we're doing a lot of shifting of the energetic imprints by using the shamanic lineage to go back and reprogram. And that doesn't have to be trauma that happened in childhood. That can also be adult trauma. Pardon me, I'm just fiddling with my altar, which is what I do a lot. And so those are kind of the individual sessions and readings that I offer. Then in terms of programs, there's a couple of things. There is a 16-week program that is really like the signature program of the Temple of the Goddess, that we have a number of alumna who have come through, and now those alumna are offering some of their sessions and offerings in this portal. And it's called the Journey of a Healer, and it really is our signature offering. And it is really for the purpose of helping you to identify or strengthen, step into your spiritual gifts, and to allow yourself to be seen. And so a big part of this program is the group process, really allowing yourself to step into connecting with that group, healing any wounds and trauma around feeling safe in community or sisterhood. That particular program is just for the sacred feminine, those who have incarnated in the sacred feminine body. And then there is another program that is open to the sacred masculine as well. And that program is called The Path of Spiritual Embodiment. And that is a 12-week program where we meet every 2 weeks for 90 minutes. And it is not a group-focused process, so there's no group sessions. It's really about showing up to be present for your own process of stepping into your medicine. And you can find detailed descriptions of that on my website and in the links on the homepage of my website. And then the final thing is that we are launching a beautiful community that is called the Starseed Community, Starseed Sanctuary Community. And the purpose of this community is to create a daily and a weekly community of practice, spiritual practice, to support us in living our lives intentionally and to provide us with a strong foundation of support as we move through these major portals and birth canals and initiations and upgrades that are part of 2022 and beyond. And so really our intention as practitioners, and most of the people who offer sessions in our community are alumni of our program. And so if you're interested in becoming a practitioner in our community, that's a great way to kind of become part of the temple community, is to take the program. It's a great way for us to really get to know each other. And so this Starseed Awakening community is really a chance for us to provide a heart-centered space to ground, to hold, to guide this process of awakening and healing. My sense is that in 2022, the process of awakening is going to be accelerated, and there will be a lot of people that need guidance, need translation, need help interpreting what they're experiencing. And that's a big part of what we will be offering in the Temple of the Goddess in this community. So for example, in the morning times, we will be having meditation sessions, yoga, breathing practices, different sessions that help to awaken the body, to get the energy moving. And then some practices that have to do with helping us each set an intention. Really the work is to live as intentionally as we can, and to really step into the possibility of living in a frequency that is higher than most of us can even imagine right now. And I feel personally that as the earth continues to purge and rebalance herself, that we are going to really be required, if we want to stay on this planet, we're really going to be required to elevate our frequency to much, much, much higher levels than where we are right now, where we reside currently. And so I will be having resources and videos and more information about that for you. And if you are watching this video in 2022, you can also go to my YouTube channel And you can also find this link on the homepage as well as on my Instagram profile. And there you're going to find a forecast, an energetic forecast for 2022. I call it your galactic guide. And there I'm really inviting you into a new way of viewing reality, of experiencing reality, a new way of interfacing with your life and the things that are going on in this earth plane. So I highly recommend that you take a few minutes to watch that video. And then I also want to just alert you to the fact that another free resource that's available to you is that every week I do an energetic forecast based on the astrological transits happening that week. So every Sunday we gather on Instagram Live and I give a forecast of what's coming that week. And the intention for that is to kind of give you a heads up of some of the energies that you may be feeling. As highly sensitive beings, we have a tendency to really feel these planetary shifts and portals that are being created by what I call our planetary ancestors. And so that is the intention of that weekly forecast, is to kind of give you that heads up. And the only other thing is that sometimes on the new and full moon, I will offer mini readings. I don't offer them very frequently, but that is another possibility. And I think I have covered everything that I wanted to mention to you, to bring to you. And just sending you lots of love and blessings and courage and faith on this beautiful journey. Ashe.